Welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley.
I'm John.
But when it comes to superheroes, supervillains, we've seen a lot of origin story movies.
Nah.
A lot. Batman has had a million of them. Superman's had a million of them. We get Spider-Man like on a yearly basis at this point. The new one skipped the beginning because the director rightly assumed that, guess what? By now, we know it.
But what happened with Uncle Ben? I don't know. Where's Uncle Ben?
Maybe he lived this time.
Yeah. So now there's a new origin movie in the works, and it's about the Joker.
That's right.
Which begs the question, do we need this? Apparently Warner Brothers thinks so. They could be wrong. The studio has tapped Todd Phillips, who directed The Hangover, cool, to write and possibly direct a movie delving into the origins of Batman's arch nemesis. So yeah, this is maybe another sign that we've reached a critical mass of superhero movies, move on to other stuff, or other titles.
The big question here, because this puts it in DCEU, is Jared Leto gonna be involved in this one? Actually, apparently not.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so you can just like take it down a notch. While Leto, and presumably his forehead tattoo, will reprise the role in the upcoming Suicide Squad sequel, the origin movie will feature another actor. Reportedly, the story for the origin movie will be set in Gotham City in the early 1980s, so shoulder pads galore. Phillips will co-write the script with Scott Silver, who wrote 8 Mile, as well as The Fighter. Wait, does this mean the Joker's gonna get into some sweet battle raps? Because if so, I am now on board.
I'm not on board.
No, you don't want a Joker battle raps?
No.
I bet there's some epic rap battles with the Joker. I'm gonna go watch those now.
So, I don't know if Joker's actually been in any epic rap battles yet. That's actually interesting. So, why are Warner Brothers and DC doing this? Money. Well, according to Deadline, the origin movie will be part of a new label for Warner's DC Entertainment properties that will expand the canon of DC properties and create unique storylines with different actors playing the iconic characters. So, it sounds like they're envisioning it as a side movie similar to Rogue One in the Star Wars universe. However, Star Wars universe, they're still canonically connected and the same actors.
So is this, but this may be a different Joker. Anyway, do we need a Joker origin story? That's really, I think, the crux here. After all, wouldn't that kind of ruin some of the mystery of the iconic character? Part of the appeal of the Joker is that he just is. It doesn't matter where he came from.
Yeah, he actually technically has no origin story in the comics.
Right,
although they might have tried to make one. They made one with the latest DC
Yeah, there's
thing.
like one or two little details here and there, but part of the point is that like it changes a bunch. You don't know what's true because it doesn't matter.
How many times are they gonna say Martha in the movie? Lots of people seem to think that we don't actually need this origin story. Vanity Fair even published an essay titled, "Who Really Wants a Joker Origin Film?" As it points out, the Joker's origins are purposefully vague, which is part of his unpredictable charm.
So they agree.
Yeah, as Vanity Fair put it, the Joker has always been an irresistible Batman character, but he works best in smaller doses. He is a consummate villain, and his sadistic extremes would simply be overwhelming if he were the main focus of any film.
Maybe it's just 2 hours of him laying in his circle of knives to show us how edgy he is.
No.
Over on the DC Comics subreddit, fans are also about as skeptical as we seem to be at this point. The most popular post about the news by Karmara13 says, "One of the most appealing parts of his character is that he doesn't have a canon origin, nor needs one. Not to mention the DCEU is set far enough in the future that these villains are well established. Do fans really need an origin that likely won't have a large impact on the filmverse beyond itself?"
Yeah, another Redditor, Schnuffs, said, "The only way I could see this work is if it were an origin movie about how he rose to power, not how he became the Joker."
It's not just ourselves, Redditors, and, well, the internet at large is skeptical. Film critic Stephen Greydanis tweeted, "The best Joker origin story is the second one in The Dark Knight, because it means the first one was BS. There is no explaining the Joker." Yes, he gets it.
Yeah, he made up a bunch of bullshit in that one. Wanna know how I got these scars? Then I'll have 5 stories for it.
Doesn't matter.
Of course, there's been a lot of explaining of the Joker, but most of it has happened in comic books, because there's a lot of comic books. The Joker has been a part of Batman lore since the very first Batman comic in 1940. Interestingly, the Joker was planned to be killed off during his initial appearance, but that didn't happen, and he's grown into Batman's arch enemy, a criminal mastermind with a sadistic sense of humor, and there's no doubt that he's a legendary figure. He's been named among the greatest comic book villains of all time.
And part of that's because of the mystery. On screen, he's been famously portrayed by Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, who posthumously won an Oscar for his portrayal in The Dark Knight. As for his origins, there have been a lot of different stories over the years. The most common does involve him falling into a tank of chemicals that disfigure him, make him go nuts. This was the origin that was portrayed back in the 1989 Batman movie.
So, what would an origin movie look like? Obviously, it's still really early in the process, but we do have some early clues, although it's all speculation still for the most part. Apparently, the origin story wouldn't be connected to any previous Joker that we've seen played in previous Batman movies. Interestingly, Martin Scorsese is rumored to be producing the movie.
So, the Joker will now be played by Leonardo DiCaprio.
I don't know if I'm okay or not okay with that. I gotta think about that. Also, Deadline says that the movie's setting will be gritty and hard-boiled, similar to Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, both of which were directed by Scorsese back in the day.
Now, it's not hard to imagine that DC's been watching the success that Marvel's been having with its bazillion MCU movies, as well as the Star Wars standalones like Rogue One, and they're gonna want in on a piece of that action too. So far, the DCEU movies have all done very well financially at the box office, so they're a huge success there. But where they've been missing is in a lot of that fan appeal. There are people who are really into the DCEU, but it's a much smaller group that's passionate about that right now than Marvel. So far, Marvel's done a great job serving fans, and I think DC wants to get in on that as well. I mean, look, the DC universe is massive. There's a lot of possible content that they could mine for the big screen there and please a lot of fans while they're doing it. And while DC movies so far have been critically hit or miss, the success of Wonder Woman in particular, because it did have a little bit of that lighter tone, it was handled a little bit differently, it felt different than the other DCEU movies, maybe encouraged them to venture outside their traditional comfort zone of, you know, Batman and Superman movies.
Can we please try the Green Lantern movie again? That's all I really want. You guys really royally screwed the pooch on that one.
I mean, at this point though, that's like trying another Fantastic Four. Maybe it's just, we just shouldn't for a while.
Yeah, but Fantastic Four got 3 movies and they failed on all of them, but they got 3.
That's true.
Gotten 1 mediocre Green Lantern one. That's such a good story.
Make him gritty and dark.
No, stop it! So, it's all about light and colors and action and creativity. Don't get me started. So, it sounds like whether we want it or not, we're getting a Joker movie. Because at the end of the day, if Warner Brothers and DC think they can make money off it, it's going to happen.
And fingers crossed, maybe they can pull this one off. I've been skeptical about a lot of DCEU stuff, but Wonder Woman did give me some hope. What do you guys think about a possible Joker origin movie? Is that something the world needs? Do you care? Would you really rather not? Let us know in the comments.
Needs is a strong word for any of these movies.
No, as a fan, I need a lot of stuff in my life.
All right, we'll define this, use this word later. For all of your superhero and supervillain news, whether you need it or not, be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know.
So Batman's not a part of the DCU anymore.
Why?
What?
No, the Batman
just went out.
The Batman movie
Matt
has
Reeves.
nothing to do with it.
So the Batman is not going to be part of the DCE.
Literally just happened to add.
Cool, so, I mean, you can do that because Batman just can have standalones. You don't need to canonically keep building this character.
But it